Well, greetings. Time for joining us on tonight's broadcast by the Fifth Dimension. Alright, we're going to continue on university, uh, just exploration, going to territories that many do not want to go into for obvious reasons. Before I fall out of my chair. Jeez, almost figures. Universe. Alright, so I was going to kind of move on to another university until I got a message about Harvard. I'm going to jump around to other places too. Hearsay, I'm not going to bring it up on the screen, but about time travel, which makes sense, which I don't think obviously I can't remember everything I said, but I think I mentioned this yesterday. I can't remember, because when you think about stuff, it's like, did I say that? I don't remember if I said it here or somewhere or in the shower or somewhere under the car. It's a place of timeline creation. When you look at Bill Gates, came from Harvard, with Facebook being created there, and other things being created there. I think Obama was created there, technically. So it's a place of timeline creation. So what a great place for time travelers to arrive. And I don't know how that works exactly. I'm not sure if I want to know. But it does have a lot of time traveler influence there. If you come from the future, who knows? But if you believe in the alien stuff, which does exist, there's things that they might not want us to know for obvious reasons. But if there's a place for a time traveler to arrive in, that is one of them. A university, a higher education university that probably kills people, depending on who you are. Especially you have the Skull and Bones at Yale. That's just, imagine if you just make the wrong person mad. Yeah, you'll live a nice life over there. Yeah, nothing will happen to you. So you retaliate against them. I imagine nothing bad will ever come out of that. Especially that was with the creation of the CIA. I guess is in Yale, from what I'm gathering, which I don't doubt. But Harvard plays a big role. All of these schools play a role in it, and it's all going to break down. So, people talk about the fourth dimension. It's not that easy. There's a positive side to it, a real nice side, but there's also a shitty side that somebody has to do it. And obviously you can tell that those are talking about the new earth and everything's fluffy and pillows and the Care Bears are there. Obviously they're not here for anything else. They're here for the Care Bear side, and the rest of us have to go through the mud. And this stuff's real. This stuff is because the influence of these people, these elite, are going to break down eventually. These schools will be irrelevant one day. So that's a big deal to see. Already, you're seeing what the newspapers crash. So one day you'll see the universities crash. And all that great knowledge of manipulation, basically. Yeah, professors there, some of them see themselves as gods, and some of them kind of are. In some sense of the term, yeah. In some way, yeah, they're doesn't mean they can do anything, but they have a lot of power, they have a lot of influence. That's a big deal. They're going to get karma for all that shit? Probably. Depending if they're abusing it, fuck yeah. All that shit's going to hit them eventually. It's nice having that stereotypical life of family and kids, and you go to all the nice parties, everybody looks wonderful. That's nice. They told the world that's okay. That's the way it should be. And you shouldn't have. It's all bullshit. And You know, if you're alone, you're alone. If you're with people, you're with people. Who cares? You don't have to have kids. There's plenty of kids in the orphanages that nobody cares about. Why don't you pull them out? And people are crying they don't have kids, but there's a whole bunch of them over there. If you can't have kids, there's another way of fixing that. You can get a whole bunch of them problem if you want. Then you probably take them back. Maybe not. But, you know, maybe that's a bad joke, but maybe it's not. Let's see here. So, those are new to all this. I haven't talked about combat prep sessions. If you can handle it. Whatever this is, scheduler. We're on a channel. We'll handle Zoom channeling by phone. I'm on, I think, the 11th. I was going to answer something. I'm wiped out right now. So, energy-wise. Other channelers, either way, do recommend here. Social network and Rabbit. Thank you for your support. Wait a minute, I'm not done yet. Oh yeah, there's this show. I haven't watched this yet. It's the Heller. I haven't showed this to anybody either. I don't know what is this on? Looks fascinating, let's put it that way. It is definitely soft disclosure, and it is on, let's see, it's a documentary series, Kentucky, goblins, UFO sightings, and hire stranger. What is it on? That's all it says about. I'm not sure where you can see it, but or maybe you just see it here. Watch now. Oh, no wonder you don't hear much about it. It's not on, I guess it's not on anything. Planet Weird. I haven't watched any of these, but I'll share it around and see what feedback looks. Is this another version of soft disclosure? Oh, okay, it is. I guess it's on Prime or YouTube, I guess. Okay. So, yeah, it's, jeez. Another form of alien, that we're not quite used to. All these beings can be channeled, too. I mean, a lot of them aren't really that strong on our Earth, but doesn't mean they don't have a presence here. So, every alien wants to get themselves known. Speaking of weird, though. So, Yale University has themselves a, I guess a devil. They have all these weird statues. This is one of them, apparently. Getting a shot of this isn't that easy. Wonder what that's there for. Just fun and games, huh? Right. So, yeah, geez, that's very scary. This church, I don't know if that's it's frightening. Is that real? Jeez. So, kind of the dark humor of the times of Yale. Of course, it has a lot of lawyer energies there too, but still, it's still, some of this is innocent, some of it is twisted. Of course, I don't see a whole lot of twisted stuff, but either way, it's setting the agenda. Is setting the agenda of bloodshed, basically, what I'm getting from it. And this is, it's all Illuminati energies everywhere. John, what is his name? John Harvard, Illuminati member. And as for, Skull and Bones, yeah. Either way, it came out as, Illuminati energies came out of Skull and Bones, definitely. You can say Skull and Bones are kind of watching the other fraternities, making sure that they, do as they're told. Yeah, they can like I said, I felt like, you know, yeah, Harvard's a lot where the bloodbath is. Not to say it's now, but energy is still there. So Yale is like like the think tank of who they're gonna wipe out, and somewhere maybe it's the Yale and them connect to each other and do what they have to do. So create the CIA, the Pentagon, energy is connected to basically controlling the government. It's all tied to it, and obviously there's secret families, one after the other, hidden and deadly. But they know that the day is going to come when they're going to get exposed. They can't stay hidden forever, and they take this stuff real seriously too. Now, obviously, if you mess with their money, that's when you disappear. But I think a conversation most of them are cool with it. They can put the fear of God into you also. But if you know how they operate, just like a reptilian being or any alien being, it does a intimidation, try to scare you, and you're just like, wait a minute, you're just trying to scare me, aren't you? Just send it back to them. So they know that mind control, energy. Of course, your average human, it's not really thinking about this type of stuff. Of course, is going to get, the more conversation about fourth dimension energies, angels, guides, alien energies brings them closer to our world. So it's and like some religious I don't know why these aliens that get channeled, they say humans don't know any better. It's just that they sound like some religious person. Like, you don't know Jesus, you don't know any better. What is that shit? It's just these aliens, I think, are just as full of shit as the people here. I mean, just because you're flying around a spaceship doesn't mean you're not full of yourself. I hate to say it, it's true though. And someone being worshipped, and it just gets under my skin when I see some of that stuff. Like, here's this channeled being, and this is going to be the greatest thing that's ever going to happen to you. It's like, give me a freaking break. I mean, it's not worship. And you'd be those have said that, I'm not going to mention names. It's pretty rampant. So people that see this spiritual stuff and they just want to throw up, and I don't blame them. It's like, why? You can't be attracted to this stuff. Because if somebody that has that cult-like energy, not to say all of them are like that, but quite a few of them are. And they're successful too. So, yeah. I don't know where that's going to get cleared out ever. Especially when it's successful. Putting that stuff out there like that, it's not good. But it's part of a process. But either way. Yeah, because that's what I mean. A lot of spiritual stuff turns people off. And how is this stuff going to go into the mainstream? Of course, that's not a worry. Just let the world figure itself out. But, how is it going to... I don't know. Just, it's a process of awakening that some will just figure out in their own way. But, yeah, just the idea of alien energies that are here, basically people are waiting for them to be seen so they can believe it. Well, a lot of that's in the process right now, where eventually that will occur. For those that are already tapping into the fourth dimension and feel these beings around, sometimes they're going to feel that it's necessary for these alien beings to appear in the physical to scare the shit out of people, because some people just need that fear. Just appearing, they can just wave and say hi. That's enough for them to freak out. But that's probably going to happen eventually. Because everyone's different. Everyone needs their own little... Some need an alien being and just talk to them. Others need to be scared. Some need to be paranoid about something. Some people need to worship somebody. It's just like a little bit of everything. So, but it shows us so let's see. Trump's going into impeachment energies. It's not looking good, but I don't know where it's going to go. But I don't think he's going to get thrown out of office. It's not likely. But they're just going to stir things up as much as they can. For obvious reasons. Control. They're like I say, the fourth dimension energies is getting stronger here. So having an impeachment thing makes sense. Just they're trying to keep third dimension alive. Of course, third dimension isn't really breaking down very fast. Now, those one thing about alien beings, depending on where they come through, say the third dimension is worthless compared to fourth and fifth, which I think is wrong for any being to say that. They don't know what they're talking about. I mean, just because we're in the gutter doesn't mean we don't have any kind of, we should, we deserve respect. How bring them here? Bring them here in third dimension, be crying on the ground, looking for cocaine every 5 minutes. I think a lot of them can't handle it. So we're here doing their dirty work that they can't do. And they're going to tell us how the fourth and fifth are better in some aspects. Yeah, you might smell a little bit better. Who knows? They might smell like feet. If they smell like feet in the fourth dimension, which some of them probably do, yeah, it'd be nice to make that more clear here. That the fourth dimension isn't as luxurious as it sounds like. And the fifth dimension is probably not as luxurious either. Not to say this place is a paradise, but it's just every time, you see these like people on TV, they all have big smiles and everything looks good, and you find out they're Bill Cosby or something like that. So, it's just that same thing. Aliens are doing the same thing. They're coming off like they're some great philosopher through channeled energy, and you find out they're all screwed up. And they probably are. They can probably help everybody but themselves. And that goes to the alien beings too. I mean, we don't get the full story here. I believe more get that, more of the fourth dimension energies comes in. Because, they put on this pedestal like they're better than us, and they're not. And the more people feel like they're just like anybody else, they fly around a spaceship and, they don't have to wear deodorant every 5 minutes. That's about it. So I just think it's are humanizing them, but also thinking that they're godlike beings. In some ways they are, but that doesn't mean. We look at the ancient Greeks. The Greek gods are all screwed up, and that's kind of echoing their energy. So, especially the Zetas look like they've been in the sun too long. So, the reptilians, maybe some of them are probably more of the nicest beings out there. They just look scary. That's all. Some of them are. Some are just really, kind. But when you look at them, you want to run and, hide under your car. So, we just have a lot to learn. We got a long ways for that. But I believe more of the energies, we're coming to a plateau of, let's see. It's always, every day you're getting closer to them. Let's put it that way. There are nicer beings out there, for sure. There are nicer ones, and there are ones that are saying they're nice and they're not. So there's all of those. It's just for us to get to it's basically, I believe, because our perception of them needs to cool. And a lot of people here are here to welcome them, definitely. But you know what you're getting into. Because some of them can be positive ones, they'll be friendly, hey, how's it going? And be others that try and manipulate everybody. So, and a lot of these beings can't stop everything. Because eventually we're going to get the veil, not to say that's going to happen instantly, but the veil of them showing up is, like, right now, some of us that are connected to the alien energies feel like the aliens don't even know what the hell they're doing half the time. And that's probably true. To an extent. They're as clueless as the spirit world in some areas. It's up to us to what comes here. Human consciousness knows what it's doing to a certain degree. But, look at the rest of the world. Okay. Whatever you say. Worshipping the queen, worshipping sports idols. It really has a keen idea of what it wants in life. As soon as the alien shows up, they'll be on the ground worshipping him. That's pretty much the way things are looking like. If you're worshipping the queen, worshipping celebrities in Hollywood, they're going to be worshipping alien in 5 seconds. So, scary. Either be shooting it, or shooting the aliens, or worshipping the aliens. One of the two. and very few will be saying, "Hey, how's it going?" So, the idea, yeah. So, wonder why they haven't showed up yet. I mean, obviously they're here monitoring, and they already have an idea of who's going to be their friend, who's going to shoot them, who's going to do this, who's going to do that. I'm serious. I mean, it's just, it's they see all those scenarios, and that's another reason why they haven't shown. Of course, they show their ships in the sky, so it's the safest thing away from everybody. But that's not going to last very long. We're going to more of a physical energy eventually, at least a holographic type, where you'll actually see the being in front of you. We're heading that. We're getting there. We got a ways, but who knows? Anything's possible. I mean, if you're ready to, like, physically, mentally ready to see them, even they. I mean, I even think with them, they can't always handle it either. Like, we get freaked out, they get freaked out too. And I think it would be worse with them, because we're like intense, like crazy people, right? They're not used to that. We're used to it. We're used to people losing their minds, and I mean, they're in another dimension. Not used to people getting crazy over eggs, and your food's not cooked right or something. You flip out and have a bad day all week. They're not used to being in a dimension where that exists, and they might see it, but when they have an idea of it, but to truly experience it, they probably do to a certain degree. But when they have to come into our land and experience it, yeah, it's a whole different story. So yeah, because we're like, they can't always figure out. I mean, obviously they're psychic, but they can't be psychic about everything. I mean, some reptilians might think they can outsmart us, but I think we can outsmart them too. Not that you're trying to, but when you become like crazy, you can block their psychic ability and just act nuts. So, just the way it is. Some people just have the ability to block others. They just have it. Like when you try to get a sense of somebody and you can't read their energy, the perfect example of that. Even the aliens, I don't think can read everything either. There's just no way. So if you're like if you're a kind, decent person, just not have no agendas, you're probably an easy read. But if you're just like a crazy person, it's like, we don't know what the hell you're going to do tomorrow or today or whatever, the aliens get blocked too. They know something, yeah. If you're getting blocked by a person, the aliens are getting blocked too. They might have a little bit more of an idea. It all depends. But if they get into an intense situation of visits, I'm talking about alien contact here. I was talking about Harvard. I'm talking about alien contact. But either way, well, because I feel like eventually the universities have to crack themselves open. The secret societies, I'm not sure where that's going to go. As a gradual process. I mean, realize that's hundreds of years of manipulation. That's just here, not including overseas. That's just the United States. When they have eons. Of course, the pharaohs and all that still have their energy here. So thousands of years of manipulation. It's not something you just clear overnight. So, but there is. Like I said, the newspapers are breaking down. There's probably other stuff breaking down too. But the universities are definitely not yet. But like if they start having scandals, there already are with sexual harassment. More is going to come eventually when the time is right. When people like human consciousness want to know, but you never know. It might be sooner than that. It's anything's possible. Like the whole thing with Harvey Weinstein, people saw that coming. People were talking about it forever, and now it's coming out. So the same thing can happen with these secret societies, where you have a whistleblower or somebody just they don't give a shit anymore. If they end up dead, they end up dead. But at least they get their word out there. It would be nice. You never know. And obviously, I don't know if they know. They know there's an alien presence here, depending on their level. Obviously, if you're in the Pentagon, you know exactly what's going on. But if you're a secret society kid, I don't know. They probably have some idea, depending on the level they're at. But there's the energy I get from that is obviously people aren't ready for it yet. Yes, they do manipulate the aliens to a certain degree. Basically, they are keeping the alien energies away for obvious reasons. Goes into Area 51. For that will Area 51 is part of, yes, disclosure. And they're kind of testing it out. Yes, they had that thing last year with the awake. That's like the beginning. Yeah, it's not taken seriously by the mass population. And some people are scared to go out. I mean, yeah, it's Area 51. It's not exactly an easy place to get to. So, most likely, that will become a normal event as disclosure begins to happen. Washington is a place for it to truly happen, but not under the president's control. He might announce something, not likely, but most likely there'll be leaks, as there already have been with the Pentagon leaks. There'll be over time a little bit more. They're just warming up the waters right now, so it'll just be mostly a slight disclosures here and there. But the alien beings are, I mean, there are timelines where humanity's taking this more seriously. But right now they're laughing about it because they can't handle it. They laugh, ha, 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 and then they talk about, they go watch an alien movie on Netflix. Or they watch that other thing, yeah. They laugh their asses off about it, but it's, how about you seeing some of that shit? Yeah, good luck. Yeah, see how you can hold your lunch after that. So, but I think we're coming to that timeline where it's inevitable for visitation to occur. Who knows when, but we're in that direction. We got a ways for it, but more of the conversation comes in. Like I said, there's going to be areas where this disclosure is going to be hostile, because that's, people need that for their growth. But there'll be places where it'll be nice and calm and no big deal. It's just the way, we're building that timeline right now. We have been in the past, but it's getting stronger. It might be 5 to 10 years of basically 5 to 10 years of this stuff being taken more seriously. So right until then, we'll all just be talking like crazy people. Until then, of course, it's been going on, and Coast to Coast AM has been watered down greatly. I think there's been a lot of censorship in Coast to Coast AM. The Art Bell show that Art Bell was on there was like really good, and that's why he had all the, his son got screwed with, and he really pissed off a lot of high up people. So they started screwing them. So Coast to Coast has been watered down so much. It's too bad. They can go into areas they can do more. They can go deeper, and they do to a certain degree, but it is half the show. It's not like what it used to be. It is a shadow of itself, unfortunately. It still has a pretty large audience, but YouTube's kind of taken over that to a certain degree, to a certain extent of it. So Harvard is the think tank. Yale is the one that makes things happen. Of course, Harvard does have your physics. So Harvard is more like, I want to say, behind the scenes. It's, people there are usually shadow people. Your nuclear physicists, they're not exactly telling everybody, hey, I'm a nuclear physicist, look at me. Usually that's not happening. Yale is more of your politicians. Of course, they have the CIA energy. Of course, Harvard has some of that too. But Harvard is more, keep things quiet. Obviously not for everybody, but those that are part of the elite group are they're like behind the scenes. Yale is more your government officials, your presidents, things like that. I'll have to look into that. There's so much stuff you can look into, but I'm just going by what I'm picking up on. Yale is the front man. Harvard is in the shadows. Yale will take all the abuse, whatever it is, CIA, whatever's Skull and Bones. Skull and Bones keeps it aligned. Like, you're going to be in the front lines, and here's the secret society. They have to show that too, the secret society, because Yale's already a public figure. Yale University, it's a public figure, so it needs Skull and Bones to be public too, to show people that shadow governments do exist. At least, if you want to believe it or not, most aren't going to believe it because they're scared. Um, Others that do believe it are going to keep it hush hush, but at least they understand it. Because that shit's not going to, it can't stay hidden forever. Nothing can. If you go into alien disclosure, all these places have to, I want to say, they have to be exposed. It's inevitable. How that's going to occur is hard to say, but it is. We're on that path. It might be 5-10 years. It might be a little bit longer for that. It's hard to say. It's all in what people want to look for, what they want to research. They get tired of talking about TV, movies, and look at what these universities are doing. Follow some of the scientists, what they can find. You'd be surprised. More people do that instead of crying about a little symbol on your, driver's license. Everybody's losing their mind. It's like, fuck, what are you gonna do about that? Crying about AI every 5 minutes. If you look at the controllers of the Earth, you probably either go missing, or be able to heal it. Going missing is a pretty high probability. Depending on what names you mention. I'm not mentioning any names because I haven't dived that far into it. Good luck with that. Okay. I'm already looking at Manuel P. Hall's stuff, and I'm already worn out as it is. But either way, all those little statues on Yale, those are protectors, but also, once again, it's like the theater. Yale University is a theater for humanity. Of course, there's other schools, but that one gets a lot of gets a lot of attention because of who comes out of it. Of course, they have MIT. That's getting more attention. I'll go into that some other day. But because Yale University has all these little statues all over the place, all little cutie little things, some over, except for the devil thing. So the devil is mischievousness that's going on there, but it's mischievousness done in plain sight, which is obviously true. Yeah, I was surprised they don't have a big devil in the Harvard. Harvard is the shadow school. It's known to be smart, but it's also the shadow elite. Not everybody there is involved, of course, but that shows the shadow elite is working there, though. They don't talk about their final clubs. They did in the Social Network movie, but still kind of, that probably got more attention than they. Either way, most people are going to take it that seriously, but because they didn't go real to the dark side of what they do. But either way, but yeah, it's the shadow school, no doubt about it. Yeah, they're very connected to CERN, more closer than that they make public, and of course CIA, FBI, they're controlling all of that. They do set the agenda of timelines. So Yale is a part of it. They're pieces of, but Harvard is really the timeline, like the main timeline creator. It depends on how you look at it. But like I say, Facebook came out, Microsoft came out of there, and other who knows what came out of it. Very influential in our society, and a lot of other stuff they're not making known. Either way, there's still a major player that gets their attention a little bit, but most of the time stays in the shadows. Not that everybody's talking about Yale that much, but Yale has a lighter energy than Harvard. Harvard has, I tell you, blood all over it because of the past, because of what it took to create it. And a lot of elite people had to die because of sacrifice for it for whatever reason to create it. Obviously, they didn't all get along with each other. Who does? But if you're trying to control humanity, not usually the ones that don't want to control humanity usually lose, and those that want to control it are the most ruthless. That's why we have society today. So I'm not sure if anything's going to break free this year. It's hard to say. Humanity is not really ready for a lot of it for obvious reasons. Of course, they have Barack Obama that came out of Harvard, but most of it's connecting to that narrative of it. I want to say also 9/11 has a lot of connections to Harvard too. The orchestration of it. Once again, the secrecy there. Those that are the secret groups obviously are running Harvard, are running the narrative. various reasons. The news groups, obviously, are easy to manipulate. News groups are, I want to say, you mess with the news, it's kind of like messing with the Federal Reserve and the money. You can disappear. Because the narrative is just important as money. It's a flow. You mess with the narrative, you can get destroyed. Meaning, like, the news can put out propaganda that's false, and you come in and say that's all bullshit, and you have a heavy presence. You might not have a long life, or it's hard to say, but if people start believing you, you might have a problem. Let's put it that way. Like Alex Jones doesn't have the biggest, he's not taking that seriously. So that's why he's either way. But if you have a major influence and you say like CNN's wrong and people believe you, that's a big deal. Yeah, the narrative. One moment. Let's see. NSA obviously is controlling both universities in their own way, secretly, controlling information. Basically, jeez, I'm surprised there. So like, Skull and Bones. Like if they need to know something, they know somebody at NSA, they can look you up and look up your shit. Now everything's digital, so now they can find stuff on people. Or somebody they're trying to track or trying to do one of their tests with. So they definitely have, there's some NSA connections there somewhere. Basically, yeah, these groups are trying to figure out who they want for the next president. Obviously, Trump was not on their list, but there is a lighter side that it was. They can't stop everything, but they try to influence everything. For various, of course, Obama was a perfect puppet master, or puppet. So that shows that the elite aren't as powerful as they are because Trump got in there. So the elite are not as powerful as they thought they were. And so they're pissed off, obviously. So, one moment. There's a lot of deals going on in a place that is dark. In a place with no windows for the presidency and other, Council on Foreign Relations came up. Yeah, just places that don't get attention. Yep. So, they're usually 4 or 5 years ahead, but they can't control everything, but they try to. They know they're losing. Everything's breaking down. Not as fast as not as fast as some of us would like it to. But you can't take them down too fast. People are so used to it. They're so used to manipulation. You can't just remove it instantly. Some people it's okay with. Most aren't going to be okay. But Justin Bieber disappeared, people can lose their minds. So, manipulation must continue. Yes, it's in the music. It's in everything. Not everything, but it's in the mainstream. Yeah, I would say, government connected to music, connected to movies. Yeah, all the manipulations all dialed in together to a certain frequency. So if politics doesn't get you, they send you over to music. If music gets you, you stay there. If that doesn't work, they send you to movies, they send you to video games. They just toss you around to see what bites. See where you stick. So, and that's all part of the web of manipulation to keep you distracted. That's all breaking down slowly. Universities CERN's involved with that. CERN is part of the vibration of keeping that going. There's an astral CERN, fourth dimensional CERN. That's all coming down. The elite are aware that the power and influence they thought they had is no longer working as much as it used to. Some movies that they thought was going to be successful end up bombing because the Human Collective said no. And they thought it was going to be a sure thing. That's been going on for a while, but it might get worse. So, interesting. either way, I see the main elite. They're not too worried right now, but they know inevitable that if this happens, if that happens, if this happens, their system's going to start breaking down. So it's strong, but it's windy. Yeah, they're not going to have the strength that they used to anymore. There's like a back. Yeah, it's like they can't see everything. At one point, they could. They can get a pretty good beat on. Even if things didn't work out exactly the way they want it, they can still. They'll still, win in the long run. Those days are slowly coming to an end, where they're going to fail, 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 fail. That hasn't come yet, but we're on that timeline. It has not fully activated yet. Guys, when the banks fail, and they fail, but not yet. It's the crash of elitism. Yeah, that's a while, but it can occur. Like I said, the fall of universities. How the hell that's gonna happen? But definitely show the breakthrough. All of them, where one will fail, like a major one. Maybe financially it'll fail. It'll go into the public arena. Something like abnormal will happen. Maybe not too big, but like say if Yale University and Harvard aren't getting the funding that they used to. Saying like maybe they're not having the same Pulitzer Prize people that they used to. Everything's starting to break down. Maybe more of your local schools are doing better. Whatever it is. It's just, because the local ones aren't as demonic as, they got shit too, but nothing like the major ones. So Stanford, same deal. Elitism, see, they think they can never lose. Think again. I'm talking about the school structure. Yeah, they can't see it, so that's what CERN is trying to keep them going. It does play a role. There's a fourth dimensional CERN. They're all connected. Trying to build more, trying to keep themselves relevant. They can build as many as they want. It won't work. So, I don't see the money system breaking down anytime soon. There's going to be a little scares here and there. China's out of control. That's kind of like they put SARS to kind of put it back in control. Like make everybody sick so they can get control back. There's some energy there on that. It's just China is a part of a different elite system. So they don't play by the rules, let's put it that way. They're a little bit more advanced than the others, so they are kind of setting the narrative. Who knows where that's going to go? Who knows? It's hard to say. But cabal energies are. Let's put it this way: the timeline of their demise is formulating, but not fully. People say, "I just want it to go," but are you ready to acknowledge fourth dimension energies, spirit guides, aliens, angels, and not do a worship center on them? Not worship them. If you see a spirit guide is acting stupid, just call them out. Instead of saying, "I'm gonna worship my spirit guides," even if they're not helping me at all. It's like that's not how it works. So you need your guides to assist. Just become more. Yeah, you can be hard on them. Who cares? As long as you're acknowledging them. It's something. Even the angels, even God. Do whatever. At least you're acknowledging it. So, it does put you, because it opens up, however you want to look at it. If you acknowledge it exists, it does open up your intuitive abilities. It puts you in the right energy space. If you go from the heart, if you're just trying to manipulate others, it doesn't work. So, trying to attack people and abuse your power, you get it taken away. You don't want that. So, I think if you abuse it a little bit, it gets taken away, but you can make up for it depending on what it is. If you abuse it, it's not a big deal, but I wouldn't recommend it at all. It's not worth it. Just work from the heart. Follow your heart. Work from your heart. Just not worry about the Illuminati and all the control and who they're going to kill. Who cares? Economy, who cares? Just concentrate on yourself, and it'll all work itself out. Somehow, it's not going to be fast. Nothing's fast. Is anything ever fast? Nothing's ever fast. That's kind of the idea. Everything's slow. to see if you really want it. That's how they manipulate society. That's how they manipulate timelines. Oh, it didn't happen today. I didn't get my $1 million today. Screw everybody. I'm just gonna be depressed forever. That's kind of what they want. So I do feel them losing. Well, they're giving their power up. Let's put it that way. I mean, it's not like we're going to just burn everything down and everything will be better. It's just the less of the control. Humans are taking back their power, acknowledging what you're capable of, and just acknowledging higher dimensional energies, and just acknowledging you're just much more than just a human that's here to consume. There's much more going on. Yeah, third dimensional breakdown. Because it's third dimension is because it's so in love with the physical, so you connect more to the non-physical, which is easier said than done, but you acknowledge it exists. The non-physical is not so important anymore. You don't care about your looks. You care, but you're not the end of the world. You're just not so embracing the third dimension so much. It slowly disconnects. So it's just a slow process. So yeah, because so many are like with sports and celebrities, third dimension energies. They'll acknowledge, hey, I'm connected to that celebrity and astral. That person's an asshole, or that person's nothing like they are here. However you want to look at it. So acknowledging the fourth dimension does take time, but you just acknowledge, how do you see that person in a spiritual energy? I don't know, just how you picture them in your mind. I don't know, how everybody's different, and then the third dimension it's like the third dimension feels like you don't need this anymore, and it just disconnects. It's a mental thing, and it's not something that's easy, but it's all mental. So yeah, it's a third dimension. Is it a program? It's a computer program. It's a spiritual program. It's whatever. If it's a computer program in your eyes, it's whatever you see it as. But it is a necessary test for growth, for sure. And it's hell for a reason, but unnecessary, because it does keep the higher dimensions in check, because they can get kind of stupid up there. Without challenges of this world's the extreme. Without challenges, they have challenges, but a lot of them are lazy. They just need this world to grow. Like I said, I don't know if I ever said this here, but a lot of 12th dimensional beings, like super positive, never acknowledge their darkness. Incarnate here. They know how to manipulate people. They become serial killers. I think I mentioned that here. I don't know if I did mention that here. Yeah, some of them can. They know how to manipulate the system. They know how to look calm, like Ted Bundy, look all nice, and just woo people over. Because it's like, and they don't even realize, like, I didn't realize I had all that shit in me. Too late now, I'm having fun. It's like, jeez. And they're like unstoppable. So Bill Cosby, I think he's part of that too. So they can manipulate timelines. Yeah. Now, if you incarnate here a lot, you have less of that. But if you haven't been here in a long time, and you're at a higher dimension, you come here, you turn into Bill Cosby, you can manipulate timelines, and God knows what the fuck. I'm being serious with that. There's a good side to him, and there's a fucked up side of him. And it's an unstoppable force. So, like I said, even Bill Cosby, I was listening to Joe Rogan a little bit. Bill Cosby thought he was, above others, above people. You're around me, right? 12th dimensional beings feel that way too. So you can downgrade yourself, and you definitely did that. Yeah, if you can be a 12th dimensional being, incarnate here, and be a nice person, yeah, that's good. But if you come here and be an asshole, well, getting back to 12th dimension is going to be as easy as you think. I don't think so. You're being a gaudy side of 12th dimension. So, yeah, if you want elitism, Bill Cosby is a good example of that. There's others, but that's a perfect example of it. You want to see a succubus? Look at Madonna. Incubus, I haven't figured out who that is yet, but Madonna's a good example of a succubus. If you want to know, I just want to throw that out there. So I'm trying to stay off that subject matter, but that's an example of it. And they're not, succubuses aren't horrible. Of course, when they get older, they calm down, and she's calmed down a lot, sort of. If you know her history, it's like, yeah, it's definitely. I grew up with Madonna. I was like, that's definitely a succubus. So, not everybody knows the history of Madonna. If you look at you look at her history of Madonna, it's like, that's definitely a succubus. So, but they can be charming too. They're not horrible people. So, anyway, all right. Thank you for your support. Hopefully that was helpful. I know it was a little bit out there. Obviously, there's blockages in certain areas. Can't tap into everything and bring in somebody just more of a conscious connection, but it's kind of yeah, these universities are it's like walking on eggshells. Just all right. There's more to that. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see where I go next with that. All right, blessings.